Recently I bought RTX 4090 to replace this little guy, RTX 3050. And I am doing everything wrong with this upgrade. My case does not support that size of graphics card, but somehow I managed to fit it, and temperatures now are far from perfect. My power supply is only 700 watts, and it's far below the recommended values. But I did some calculations and I figured out that it should be enough for my setup. And my current CPU is 12400F with DDR4 memory, which can be a bottleneck in my build. It's great budget CPU, it drains around 50 watts in games and can work almost silently even with a boxed cooler. But with a graphics card like RTX 4090 it might not be enough. And that's what I want to test with the new 13600K. In some tests, this new i5 is equal to i9 12900K in games and sometimes even better. At least on paper, compared to my current CPU, I will get extra 8 efficiency cores, more clock speed and bigger L3 cache. But on the other hand, it has more TDP, so it consumes more power, so we need a better cooling system for it. And I bought this testosterone socked cooler Dark Rock Pro from Be Quiet. But don't forget that will cost you around 80 euros. And you know what? It became my next mistake, since I could not fit this cooler in my case normally, because you need to screw the base of the cooler to the motherboard and only then insert the second cooler and fix it there. And if you install the cooler first, you'll be not able to install the 4090. So the temperatures in my case will be the weak point, just like the noise from the computer. Let me show you. I do not have any necessary devices for this, but I have Apple Watch. This is example of noise at my computer without any load. And now let's try to run Witcher 3 with ray tracing. As you can see, temperatures are not acceptable, so I usually play with opened case. And that helps me to save few degrees. Anyway, there is no torquing, so it should be fine. And look, I have to mention it. I know that for CPU testing we need to set low settings, low resolution and so on. But how that's gonna help you in a real case scenario? I want to see a difference. So our settings gonna be maxed out in every game, with RTX if they support it. DLSS is gonna be on quality, just because I don't see any reason to not use it. Cyberpunk 13600K consumes 2 times more power, but you gain from 10 to 30% more FPS, depending on the scene. In Battlefield 2042 it was difficult to repeat the same scenes in multiplayer, but in general noticeably more stable FPS at 13600K. Sometimes you can see how 12400F load can be up to 96%, with drops to 80 FPS, while his opponent keeps a minimum of 100 FPS. Huge win for 13600K.
Beginning attack on Alpha 1. Just need to hold together. Friendly casualties in full control of Sector Charlie.
Forza 5 also shows a more stable frame rate on 13600K, but the overall difference is not very noticeable. You get more than 100 FPS in both cases. And The Witcher 3 is game that shows why we need this upgrade. Huge difference in performance and GPU utilization. Spider-Man also shows us a big difference, sometimes up to 30%.
Алло?
Паркер, где ты? Нам нужно хоть раз прогнать демонстрацию до приезда комиссии по грантам.
Да, простите, да. У меня тут личное дело. Скоро буду, обещаю. Надо быстро закончить и бежать на настоящую работу.
So, it's time to make some conclusions. If you have a graphics card below the RTX 4080 level, then I would not bother. The 12400F is a great CPU, and I would stay with it if you have monitor like mine or 4K. I personally choose 13600K to get the smoothest possible gameplay and calmly run any games, and not think about the fact that somewhere 4090 chills like in The Witcher 3. Yes, it's expensive, hot, and uses more electricity. But excuse me, have you seen the price of 4090? You gotta be prepared for such expenses. The same applies to a case with a good cooling, so I made a few purchases again. And a new upgrade is waiting for me. If you are interested in these results, I will release a new video soon, so do not miss it. This was my first video that I used to practice English. I'm really excited to see your reaction. Thank you for watching, peace.